Well, Sarah, what a week with EdgePetrol. We're at the NEC, but our podcast has just done 500,000 views. How does that feel?
Amazing, but congratulations to you and thanks so much for asking me on. Really enjoyed it.
Have you guys seen an uptake? Because essentially everyone's asking about stock, everyone's asking about price. I guess what you guys do has never been more relevant.
True. Yes, we've seen usage. We can see our customer usage, and that's just off the charts. People that might only have logged in sort of a couple of times a week, they're on it constantly because it's now more than ever important to see exactly what margin you're making. With the cost price fluctuating so much, you're trying to avoid being in negative margin if you can.
And the big headline from your feedback is you guys have over 1,000 sites data.
Yeah.
I understand it's growing up. Sure, it'll be even bigger after the NEC. But I understand that margins dropped from the low 8s to the high 6s in terms of percentages. Did that surprise you with such a crisis that you've actually seen a drop in margin rather than what some people have been speculating, which is actually the opposite?
Not at all. And I think, we've worked with retailers about 8 years, and, they are not out to make as much money as they can from customers in times of war. It's they are trying to not pass on all that extra cost to customers. They can't take suck all of it up, but we are certainly seeing that, contrary to what people think, when the wholesale prices are sky high and Brent crude oil sky high, actually it means it's less margin for retailers because they are trying not to pass all of that on to consumers.
Now, you had some reassuring words on the podcast about stock levels.
Yeah.
It's obviously another week on since we filmed. What are stock levels looking like? And essentially, have EdgePetrol got some more reassuring messages from your data about how stocks are looking around the country?
We're seeing stocks pretty normal. In normal times, we would have our customers between 40 and 45% of capacity of the tanks fill at any one point in time, and we're seeing we saw drop slightly before 40 about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but we're around sort of the 46-47% capacity. So no need to panic at the moment. There's plenty of fuel available in petrol stations. It's business as normal in terms of stock availability.
Amazing. And I guess last question, we're obviously at your stand at the NEC. What do you do at Edge, and also how did you get into working with EdgePetrol?
I worked in legal and tax for years before, for 9 years. Then I did fashion events for about 18 months, which sounds really glamorous. I thought, I love fashion, I want to do something different. But I was actually a bit bored, kind of missed the data side, and I decided I wanted to join a startup. I met Gideon, the CEO, and just thought, this sounds contrary to what people think. With fuel, it doesn't sound as exciting as fashion, but I actually thought it sounds like a really good product, really good opportunity, and been here 8 years. So
amazing. And Gideon was saying to me that obviously you've got some of the biggest household names in the UK market.
Yeah.
As a company, you're starting to look at the US. That must be an exciting time for the company.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a huge opportunity over in the US. There's 8,300 or so petrol stations here, 120,000 in the US. There's definitely a lot to go out there. And
I imagine US MPGs are slightly lower than our hybrids and our vehicles over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah, awesome to see you guys in person at the NEC, and thank you so much for coming on the Wolfe Power Club. And it's great that Edge and Wolfe Power Club could do some stuff together.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Alex.
Cheers, Sarah. Great.